I don't know why I did it over and over again.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Simply Spooky. And we're broadcasting through things this evening. And this evening, the subject. First, I want to say hello to the boys. Hello, boys.
Hello.
Have you had a good week? Have you had a good week?
Nothing bad.
You've been on holiday?
Oh yeah, I'm off.
Wait.
The schools are closed, aren't they?
Oh, of course they are. Yeah.
Not that time off.
My last job, I
about
used to get all the school holidays. It was lovely.
That's 6 months holiday, isn't it? When school's off.
Nah, I've only got 3 because I've got to go in and fix everything. So.
But apart from that, you've had a good week.
Yeah, I've had a good week off. Yeah.
Hi, Irene. Hope you're doing well. What about you, young Mark? Are you doing well, bud?
Yeah. I finished my motorbike off and I put them on.
I saw it. Very nice. Very nice.
Did you see the memorial I put for my mum on it?
No, I didn't see that. Let's have a look. Was that on Facebook?
Yeah. My mum's favourite animal was a fox, and I've had a fox curled up tattooed on here because my youngest daughter's tattooist.
Oh, is that the one you got the other week?
Yeah, and that was from my mum's. Oh, hang on.
Oh, bless her.
Hey,
was that your mum's?
Yeah, and I've got a fox on the screen of my motorbike because, as you know, I customised my bike and I put bars on it, spotlights, and all sorts of weird, wonderful things. And and I took it for a long old drive. Took it for a 90-mile ride on Wednesday.
It's a lovely bike, and God bless your poor old mum. God bless her wherever she is.
Yeah.
Eric, how are you doing, bud?
Good. I have an off question. Now that you said that your youngest daughter's a tattooist, how much does she charge?
Depends what it is and where it is. Be careful.
Not anything bad or where bad. It's going to be a cover up for sure.
All right. Well, send me the details and I'll send it. I'll pass it on to her and I'll get you to link up on Facebook.
All right. Awesome.
There you go. Perfect. Look at that. We're doing business online as well.
Hi,
How
Nicola.
spot on as this. Doing business. Hi, everybody. I didn't say this. Hi, Irene. Hi, Rita. Hi, Nettie. Who else? Hi, Nicola. Hi, Bri. I think that's it at the moment. We've got 6 people in. So, yeah, that about counting as that. That's good. So this evening, we're going to be talking about children of the paranormal. We've been scratching our heads because we've been thinking about, well, what aspects of the paranormal? So Mark and Ian said, well, why not every bit of it? So we thought, okay, that's a good one to go with. So we're going to go with it. So I'm going to ask the boys. I'm just going to throw the carpet down, everything can sit on or stand on, and tell me what they think. Starting with, are you still sharing out, Eric, or are you done?
I'm done.
Eric, we'll start with you. Children of the paranormal. What are your beliefs?
Well, if you go the route where taking them on with you on an investigation, it depends on what age they are. You know what I mean? And if you're there with them constantly, saying, teach them how it's actually done, what's actually happening,
But clearly, you got to have a lower limit for a higher or lower and a higher limit for that, haven't you?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, obviously, I'm not going to take an 8-year-old to an investigation,
I think 18's fine. I guess it all depends on the maturity of the child as well, doesn't it? So some kids at 14 and 15 are really into it. Are you, William? And they know a good deal about it anyway. So it doesn't really hold many surprises for them. But I think insurance purposes in this country says that you've got to be 18, I think, before you can officially attend. I might be wrong, but I think somewhere in the back of my mind it states that somewhere.
Well, I know for insurance purposes, you're right on that. So
on public liability,
exactly, insurance. Personally, I think I wouldn't. Again, it all depends on the child, doesn't it? Because I think I would draw the line at sort of anything under 14. I'd be happy to take a child out that was 14, providing that child was of a maturer element and geared up for it. Do you know what I mean? So if the parents come from a background of it, chances are they've been soaked in that environment since they were very young. So it doesn't hold much fear for them.
I've got a scenario.
So what are you? Well, let me go to. Who am I going to go? Let me go with Ian. Ian, what do you think?
Well, I mean, yeah, I agree with the. You've got to have a lower limit. We've got an apprentice in the team, and he's been with us since he was 16. We took him on because he's got the right set of ethics for what we do. So, and we just keep an eye on him, basically. If we think things are going to kick off, come on. He's proved his worth so far. He's been he's 19 now, and he's.
I think that's it, isn't it? I think you're right. I think it depends on the kid, doesn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And if he's into it and he's maturer than most, then hi, Tim. Hope you're doing well, bud. then I think it's fine to do that, because there are some. I mean, my kids want me to go out with me on different investigations. I mean, Willow's 13 now. I wouldn't take Fox. Fox is sort of 9, but Willow really interested. But I won't take her because I think 13 might be a bit young. And even though she's been immersed in it, and she gets to 14, 15, I think that'll be fine for her. Yeah. But as you say, you just keep them out of the way of trouble. If something looks like it's going to get a little bit nasty, then you can remove them from the situation, can't you?
Yeah.
What about you, Mark? What do you think, bud?
Both my girls, as you know, are clairaudient and clairsentient, so they can see and hear.
Yeah.
But obviously, my eldest has mental health issues because she suffers from psychosis and BPD. So she's on medicine, and she said to me before, sometimes she can't tell the difference between whether it's an episode or whether she's actually seeing and hearing things. So she's on tablets, which calms it down, because normally when it's an episode, as she puts it, she sees horrific things. But I can't say where I took my young. In fact, I took both of them to a warehouse I used to do security at that was known to be haunted. They didn't know this, and I took them both with me one night, one at a time, on not both together, because my youngest one, she's got really good at stuff. And I took them in both individually, and they both sussed out the two main bits where the old security guard was known to be seen, and where there was a guy in the center of the warehouse who got strung up on one of the machines and killed. And he every now and again, you see him in his blue boiler suit just peering at you, going, "What's going on?" I can sense where there's something, and I can tell you if it's good or bad, but I can't tell if it's male or female. I can't see it, I can't hear it, I can just sense it. But the girls, they've got full audio, full visual. When they're kids, I don't believe in taking them, because I don't believe in stifling kids and saying, "Oh, there's no such thing," because I think that's a wrong thing to do.
Yeah,
I think you should let them grow up believing what they, in to a certain respect, believing what they want. And there are certain things when you're older, you start learning about it, But 13, 14, if they're sensible, take them along to certain places and stuff like that.
I agree. And that's the thing. I agree with you. That's the key, sort of if they're sensible. So Tim makes a good point here. Some adults, I absolutely agree with this, Tim. Some adults shouldn't be investigating either if they're struggling with mental health issues, for example. Some people, they shouldn't be going out because it's a danger to other people. But more importantly, it's a danger to them as well.
She doesn't investigate.
But I tell you, who was it who made a good? Mr. William Southey made a good point as well. Actually, William made a good point. He says that. Let me pick that up. He says that most of the younger generation believe in the spiritual world, which I go along with that and agree with that. But many do not understand it yet. I know some autisms tend to be very sensitive to their environment. Makes me wonder, actually, people that have got autism, we know that a lot of them they're very, very intelligent individuals. And it makes me wonder that if they've got anything else going for them as well. Like, is autism also a key to seeing beyond the veil? So even though they think it could be a hallucination and something that is it what they're seeing? Is it actually more real than we perceive it to be? Because we know that we've only got a small percentage of the environment that we can see with the naked eye. And we know that, it's like 10%, isn't it? If that. And they know that there's another 90% out there that we're not actually seeing. And that's the scientific fact. So have they got the key to it? Are they what they're seeing?
We've had several private cases where autistic kids are the ones that are witnessing everything.
Yeah.
See?
Although you can't take everything they say as literally, we've actually had it proved while they're investigating that he's there. Because we were doing an EVP, and halfway through it, he said, "Who said that?" And we said, "Didn't hear anyone." I played back the recording, and there was a female voice.
Hear it.
Yeah, and he heard it.
Also, I guess you've also got the benefit that if you know part of the history of the property, and they come out and they cross-reference that fact, then you know that's a hit as well, don't you? Because there's no way the kids can be able to access that with they're not going to have prior knowledge to it, are they? So I wonder if
it's just not autism. Like, I have attention deficit disorder. That probably triggered some stuff when I was a kid. Stuff like that. So,
we know, don't we, that people.
We know, like autistic kids, just like mediums, their brains are wired slightly differently.
So exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I remember years ago in the 70s. You guys will remember it as well. There was a one size fit used to fit everybody with schooling. So what they used to do, they used to have this program that they'd send you into school. You'd have to learn it, and it'd be by the cane or what have you. But it would be just one way, and they couldn't work out why some children weren't getting it or weren't cotton onto it. obviously with years and years of study and with lots of programs that have gone on,
I had the
now we
game.
realise that people learn in different ways. It's not that these children are stupid, it's just that they're wired differently and they learn in a different way. It's like I say, I know kids that have got autism, some of it quite severe, but my God, they're on the button with certain things.
A lot
You
of
know,
them
they leave you standing
A
with
lot of
certain
them
things,
are.
which is phenomenal.
Fun fact, I had to go to kindergarten twice because they found out that I had a learning disability during the first year of kindergarten, so I had to go to kindergarten again.
Was that
So
because
you
you
were
kept
sort of held back?
reinventing the flux capacitor?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
exactly.
came back in time, talked to myself, told myself I had a disability.
But the thing is, though, you look if you look at the scientific world, and you look at a lot of people that are world famous scientists, a lot of them didn't tick properly. They
Oh, yeah.
didn't tick the
Albert
way the
Einstein
rest
had
of the world did. A lot of them
dyslexia.
are considered.
So,
I mean, even Einstein at school, one of his masters said that he was a moron, stupid. Do you know?
Yeah,
he said he
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
get anything. And man turned out to be one of the most intelligent, if not the most
Yeah, he had-
intelligent
he had
individuals
dyslexia.
that ever walked the grace of God's earth. It's mad.
Right. he had dyslexia.
It's
I
dyslexia, yeah.
I used to work with kids with quite bad learning and emotional disabilities, and I found that a lot of them were very switched on with the part of the prefrontal cortex that we don't develop, because that's what I was on about. You know, when I said don't stifle kids by saying, oh, there's no such thing, theirs were wide open and receiving all the stuff that we can't see, that we can't hear. And some of them are savants, some of them are, I'd love to have the stuff that they, you know, their vision and their hearing and everything, but some of them, yeah, you're like, right, okay, but a lot of them you're like, oh, and they'll say certain things that make your ears twitch and make you go, hang on a minute. My youngest daughter, when she was a kid, the day after my father had died, she sat on her bed, her and Becky, and said, oh, it's all right. They were like 6 and 7 years old. And they said to me, it's all right, Dad. We know Granddad's okay. He was talking to us. And I was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, all right, what were they saying? He was saying, oh, he'll always be our Granddad and he'll always love us and he's going to watch us all the time and he'll always be there. And I was like, okay. And I said, all right, what was he wearing? And they described what he was wearing. Now, the thing is, when I went and saw my dad 20 minutes after he died, I had to close his eyes because the nurses hadn't done it. My mum refused to go in and see him. I was the only person that knew what he was wearing. And I never told anybody. And they told me exactly what I saw he was wearing that night. So, and it was that.
But imagine if that child is wide open, right? That child suffers from whatever, or has got autism, don't suffer from it, don't know, it's called autism, have got autism. And if you spend all your time saying what you're seeing isn't real, imagine the untold damage you can do to them.
Yeah, it's going to.
How
yeah,
frustrating must that be
yeah.
for them? Because they know what they're seeing, they know what they're experiencing. It's like somebody coming along and you saying, well, I've done X, Y, and Z, and then somebody going, no, you haven't, without actually knowing what you've achieved. Do you know what I mean? It gets frustrating. So, yeah, I think you should always.
So, Jim, that brings me back to every question that I have. Mark, you said both your daughters are. So, are you too? Okay. See,
I've only got it slightly. It's not something I actually like talking about too much because people, you know yourself, people take the piss.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk into any building anywhere and I can tell you if there's something there. All I can tell you is if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
Very seldom I can sometimes tell you if it's male or female, but I can only tell you if there's A, something there, and B, if it's good or bad. But that's about my range. I do believe on my granddad's side, his grandmother was quite well known in the Victorian clairvoyant stage up in Scotland before she flipped out and burnt the family mansion down. But we're both sides of the family are Celtic, so there's Irish and Scottish in it. I'm Irish by nationality.
Same here.
The kids have got it, and as I say, I've got a slight thing, but maybe it came from them. But because it skipped all the generations and hit me a little bit. Maybe they got the full blast. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm always handy to have around because I'll say, "Oh, don't be careful there," you know.
I had a similar thing when I was a kid. I can't remember. Obviously, I've got very, very vague memories. And to be honest with you, I know you can manufacture memories, but I know for a fact it happened because my mum used to tell me that I was on the sofa. It was a Saturday evening, and my uncle he'd taken his own life, and she was waiting. They were waiting for him to turn up on a Saturday evening. He never turned up, and I turned around and said to her, "Oh, Uncle Moss won't be coming tonight because he's died, but it's all right. It'll be okay." And she's like, what's he on about? What's the child on about? Uncle, no, he's not. He's coming down tonight. And then that night, she he never turned up. But in the early hours of the morning, my Uncle Mossy had a little Irishman he was, but he had a distinctive step. And my mum said to my dad, they were laying in bed, and they heard the step in the hall outside where he'd shuffle his feet around. And my mum said to my dad, blimey, she went, Moss is late tonight. Or what the hell's he doing coming at this time of night? So she went out to let him in, and he wasn't there. And then the next day, the police turned up and said, your brother's taken his own life. Right. So this thing, but when I was a child, I saw things, not a lot, but I saw things, I experienced things, and I kind of knew things were going to happen before they happened. Not a lot, but you know, it did occur. But then as I got older, I mean, now I'm as psychic as a brick. I've got no abilities whatsoever. Do you know what I mean? Like a ghost could tap me on the shoulder and go, I'm a ghost, and I still wouldn't get it, you know, even on the equipment. But I think you're right. As people get older, perhaps there changes as well. So maybe it is a good idea to bring kids in to see if they can utilise them.
Yeah, but you need controlled. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's been controlled.
You know, my mum just died like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Is
to
it
be
2
honest,
months?
2 months, yeah. I've been up and down with it, and it's devastated me. But it devastated Becky more because Becky lives in Somerset, and she used to see mum all the time. And she was, as she said to me, my mum was more of a mum to her than her own mother ever has been and ever will be. Wow. But we've sorted her medication out. She's on a good thing and everything. And she rang me today because she messaged me last night and said, I've spoken to Nan. She knows everything. Yeah. She knows what's happened. She's not happy, but she's in a good place. And I was like, okay. And then she rang me today, and you can always tell whether it's an episode or whether she's being honest, because she's got 4 personalities when they kick in, and you can always tell. But she rang me today, and it was Becky. There's no bullshit, no episodes. And she was telling me about how she went to sleep. She said she's got a thing about how she can see things is she'll concentrate on that one thing, and any other thoughts that come in, she kicks them out. Mm-hmm. And she said she did that before she went to sleep, and had this vivid dream about sitting in my mum's front room for ages and ages and ages. And then my mum turned up watering plants, and she goes, oh, hello, Becky. What are you doing here? And she goes, Nan. And I, how are you? Have you been? She goes, oh, I'm really well, thank you. And then she says, Nan, I've got to ask you something. She says, what? Do you know what happened? And Mum and Becky, when they had a thing and they were talking seriously, they'd just go, yes, no, or yes, I did. And she said that Mum put the watering can down, looked at her and said, yes, I do. I'm not happy about it, but yes, I do. And then picked up the watering can. Yeah. So, and then she passed on a couple of messages to me and one for Taylor. And then she said she woke up and she bawled her eyes out, but she said she knew just unequivocally it was Mum, and she's spoken to Mum. So, and I was quite, and I knew she wasn't bullshitting. So,
no.
Wow.
And that's quite a lovely experience to have, though, isn't it, as well? Even though you know that she's not happy with it, to have that contact, it's quite a fantastic. It's something I think we all would cherish, isn't it? Really, but very few people get the opportunity to. You know, I mean, I dream about loved ones that have passed on, and I think that when you're in that REM sleep, I think that they do.
Yeah. Well, you link with yourself, don't you? Yeah. When you're in that REM sleep, they've said that because your brain operates in 7 dimensions. When you're asleep, it unlocks that gateway, and you link with another one of you in the onion, in the multiverse. Yeah, and you're seeing the eyes of the other you. So the ones that have died here, they're still, they could be still alive there. Yeah.
Because I think you're not held, or you're not dragged back by all the crap that's going on in this world, are you? All the shit that's going on in this world, you're sort of free from it. So you know, there's an awful lot of crap at the moment in this world, sadly. But
it's funny saying that, but the Hollywood medium. Also, I can't remember his flipping name right now.
Oh, the blonde kid.
Yes, he did a reading for a neurosurgeon, and a neurosurgeon said to him, Tyler, that's it. He said to him, I want to put some equipment on you when you read someone. And the funny thing was, he said to him afterwards, he said, the whole time you were doing the reading, it was telling me you were in REM sleep.
Wow.
So he's obviously got it. I'm guessing it's kind of,
and that's what I want to do.
Meditate, isn't it? To get to that stage where they relax and they can just gently enjoy what's going on around, or not what's going around. But I saw another one with that kid, which was amazing. He said to this actor, I can't remember his name, but he said to him, they're telling me, he said, that you've got a problem with your heart. You need to get it checked out. And this guy's going, no problem with my heart. No problem with my heart. Nothing wrong with my heart. He said, well, you might. He said, there is. He said, and you need to get it checked. They're telling me that you know, and they're telling me you suffer with this. And he kept telling this actor, and this actor, no, wouldn't have it, trying to make a laugh and a joke about it. And he went, they're telling me you need to get this checked now before it's too late. Bloody hell, 2 months later, the guy died of a massive heart attack. Didn't listen to him. See, I like that Tyler kid. I think he's quite good.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's quite good. And I think he's probably one of the only genuine ones that I've seen on
Wasn't there
some
that
things.
woman who used to do it? There was a woman who used to do it in America as well, and she was supposed to have been quite switched on with it.
Not a New York woman, is she? Blonde hair?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know who.
What's her name?
Long Island Medium.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Looked like one of the mob's wives, didn't she?
Mhm.
She looked like a gangster's wife.
Yeah. Looks like a
Imagine
mole.
Dr. Ruth did it.
Looks
Imagine
like a
Dr.
mole.
Ruth went as well.
But I'd like to do the same thing. I'd like to put you can get machines, portable ones that hook to your head and your vitals and everything. I'd love to do that during medium and during an investigation, you know what I mean? Just to see what their body is telling themselves, you know.
Well, I
as
know
they're
they've done
doing
MRIs on mediums, haven't they? They put mediums into MRI machines and scan the brain, and they said that there are certain areas, mainly the frontal cortex,
Yeah, that's it.
and also this what do they call it, your third eye, that becomes super active, and for them seem to be switched on all the time, which I think is quite interesting. But no, normal people don't have that.
Mhm.
Well, they're normal, aren't they? But people that haven't got that ability don't have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. But kids, getting back to kids, who thinks that it's okay if you use them as trigger objects?
I don't think it's okay.
Oh, really?
We were talking about that
Right.
before the show started.
Oh dear.
Ah, there you go, Noreen. Yes, Teresa Caputo. That's the woman.
Yeah, you'd
That's
probably
the
get
lady.
you'd probably get done for child abuse there, Dan. I
You
think.
probably
Yeah,
would,
I wouldn't be doing
Yeah.
that.
Imagine being in prison. What are you in for? I'll use a kid as a trigger object for paranormal. What have you got in your bag? I've got an EMF machine. I've got a voice recorder. I've got a kid.
A little Tommy from next door.
Going back to children, I mean, let's talk about children that are possibly spirit children that are, on some of the investigations you guys have done, because I haven't done that many, that I've gotten children. But I mean, how many are legitimate, and how many do you think is something else? You know what I mean, percentage wise?
I think most of them are legit.
Yeah.
You've got a small percentage that are something else. I mean, I've had both cases, so
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm with you
My-
on that. I think most are legit. I
My
think most of them
problem
are
with-
legit.
When I've met people in the paranormal who claim to be psychic and can see this and see that and see the other, 99.9% of the ones that I've met,
No.
absolute
I
bollocks.
I
Absolute bollocks.
turned out an investigation once. There was 32 people there. I was one of them. 29 of them were bloody were mediums. Every bucker's a medium. Every soul's a medium. So I was the
That's
only
what
one.
I mean.
I felt like lying and saying I was a medium just so I could fit in with them. But it's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Like your idea of mediumship is not what mediumship is.
well,
Yeah.
it was the size of their polo shirt, wasn't it?
Who's that?
It was the size of their polo shirt.
It was
Wasn't
a
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
There's a
But,
very good word, Victorian word, charlatan. And
Yeah.
there's been a few times I've seen people and I'm just like, charlatan.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, you do. And I like it as well when they try and me and Vic did an investigation once, and we just sat there and watched, and they get into a point where there was 3 people, and they were having we called it a medium off.
See you later, mate.
They were trying to usurp each other with information coming in.
Yeah.
Obviously, making more and more bollocks up as they went on. Hiya, Wayne. They were making more and more bollocks up as time went on, but it was ridiculous. But it was also comical to watch them because you think yourself, you're lying, you're lying, and everybody else here knows you're lying. But this is what's making it fun because you make yourself look a twat.
I've been on investigations where there's been
No, we're not, mate. We're not, David. Long time since I was a medium.
Yeah, same. I'm an
I'm
XL
like 10
now.
mediums. I'm 10 mediums rolling to one.
You ate them all.
I am all.
Yeah.
I like, yeah, exactly. I've got a diet of meat just eating mediums.
Yeah, well, then a true medium wouldn't say that they're a medium either. So, you know what I mean?
No.
You can always
they
tell the
wouldn't.
difference. You can tell the difference, especially when they talk to you about stuff that they don't know about, but
Oh,
you
you mean-
do. And when they start coming out with things and you're just looking at them like, are you mad? But then you got the other ones. You start coming out with stuff that there's no way anybody could have known. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool, isn't it? I remember some woman came to me once, and it blew me away. And I thought I never really had much faith in mediums. I knew that certain people had the ability, but overall, I'd never really met many, maybe one. And this woman came to me once, and she said to me, she was a young woman, she was smiling at me. It was one of these. It was like Hazel had bought it for me. It was raising funds for the Cat Survival Trust. It was raising funds for cats and kittens and stuff. And she bought me a ticket because she thought it'd be good. And it was just in a cafe. And what it was is they had a night evening there where they had mediums going around from table to table. It was like one of those, what do they call it? One of those date things where you go around and they were coming around. They had 10 minutes at the table and they come over. And I had this medium come over to me, and it blew me away. Young girl, and she said to me, "Don't go away, don't go away." She went, "Because I've got somebody who really wants to speak to you." So I said, "Okay, cool." She went, "But I've got to just do this other table, and then I'll come back." So right, okay, fair enough. She said, "I'll give you an idea." She went, "That I'm not lying, or it's true." She said, "Because this woman's telling me she comes from Ireland, she comes from the seaside, and her name is Helen, and she's also telling me she's your mother." Bang on, bang on. I don't know what happened, but the rest of the evening went a bit haywire. Things went left, right, and centre, and in the end, I never got the message. But you know what? I'm very much kind of think that I'm clearly not meant to get that message. That's fine. That's fine. You know, I got the information from her that I wanted. She's given me that. I'm fine with that. I don't need any more information. But it's good. But it'd be nice to see. It would be nice to see youngsters because you do see them on TV. Some of these young people that are with mediumistic abilities, like that chap, the kid we were talking about, Tyler. He was doing it since he was like 12, I think, or 13 or something. He was saying, or maybe younger than that. It was his granddad had died or something, and then he visited him, and then he was telling his mother about it. And after that, he said he was wide open to everything.
Yeah.
So
you know the show on TV that Chip Coffey did with Psychic Kids? It was called.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Chris Fleming did that as well.
All right.
Did he?
And I think what's happened is some of the kids that he taught back then are now the ones mentoring the younger kids.
Oh wow!
Are they really?
Yeah.
I got one for you. Kids in the paranormal. What about kids that actually see? And this winds me up. This kids that see real UFO sightings. No one believes them because they're kids.
Yeah.
No,
that's school in Wales.
I think there's still. People are open to it now, but I still think there's a lot of people out there that will. I mean, if people says to me they've seen something or they've experienced something, I will give them credit for it because what they've seen and experienced is real to them. And you know what? Who am I to turn around and say that somebody else's experience isn't real? It's not my place to say that.
That's the problem. A lot of adults do that. They say, it's just a kid. He doesn't know what he's talking about, just because they're a kid. Well, that's not true. I've had siblings, nieces, all the way down younger that have seen stuff that I'm like, yeah, I've seen it too, because it runs in their family.
Yeah. There's no reason I don't think there's any reason to poo-poo it, because at the end of the day, we're not. But I think it's bloody rude amongst anything else to just hire Sarah to turn around and say, well, your experience is crap. You didn't have it when you haven't experienced it yourself.
There's two things I will say to my clients, and one is listen to your kids and watch your animals.
Yeah, animals are perfect. Exactly. Noreen says the only spot-on reading I had was from a woman in Southport. She wouldn't allow me to speak other than to say, I can understand that. That's quite good. She read my past, present, and future. She was non-stop fact from start to finish. She even told me about thoughts I'd never shared with anyone. That blew my mind. I felt like my brain was down to rinse. Yeah, see, that's quite good. That's quite good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I always say to people, if you're going to a medium, never tell them anything.
Yeah.
No.
Only ever agree to what they've got right. Never.
I had a medium say to me once, he said, if a medium comes up to you and tries to feed you a line to get information back, he said, always say to them, well, you tell me you're the medium. Yeah. And if they can't tell you without you giving information, he went, they're not mediums.
No.
But it's interesting, isn't it? But yeah, I think I'd like to see more programming with kids with those abilities. I think kids with autism as well, they tend not to be as terrified of it as kids without it, because I think that they see it as part of a reality. They experience it. It's like Oh, yes, frightening, of course it is. But by the same token, I think they accept it because it's like, well, this is it. This is your life, isn't it? This is what happens. And for them, it's just everybody's probably experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. It's just an interesting subject.
I wonder what it must be like to have that ability and just be walking around here every day, and you just see like people walk through walls and stuff like that, and you must be like, it's him again. Oh,
Yeah,
it's him again.
Yeah. It must as well. I mean, I've always said that, like, you know what? If you love the paranormal, I watched Medium on Facebook last night. She talked to a woman about her mother. She was spot on. She even said, your mother's not had a funeral yet. She had to write. She's still in the hospital. There you go. It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, Goose has some pretty decent ones on his show too. I mean, spot on with me every single time. And he's like me. He vets them where you don't tell him any information, stuff like that. And it's really good.
And that's what you want. That's what you need at the end of the day. She told me medical facts about my baby that I didn't even know. That fact checked up with GP at a late date. She was amazing. I never met anyone that good before or since. Yeah, they're out there, Noreen. They're definitely out there. You know, as I always say, I always say that I completely hand myself over my belief system to the paranormal. I believe in the paranormal 100%. It's just some people's interpretation of what the paranormal is throws me through loops.
Yep.
It's just another realm. I mean, we know different dimensions exist. It's been proved.
Mm-hmm.
We know there's thin places. Then we know there's doorways, and especially in my sector of what I do, there's doorways and things. But just because we can't see it, doesn't mean it's not there. And we can no one can ever say they're an expert in, especially paranormal when it's to do with spirits, because they've not died, gone over their experience, and then come back and gone, do you know what? So no one can say they're an expert in any of it, and that's why it's paranormal. No, exactly. I mean, I'm not even sure that once you pass over that you would get all the. I know you got a lot of mediums who are out there say, "Oh, when you get pass over, you know everything. You get the information, you know everything." I'm not sure about that. I have a hard time believing in that. I think you might get certain answers, but you're not going to get all of them.
Well, to tell you my experience as a kid, I talked to them like they were like younger friends or toys, like toys would talk to me, stuff like that. And it was always friendly. I mean, I know some kids have bad experiences, but mine was always friendly. And then it gets to the point where my mom goes, well, there's no such thing as ghosts. Well, okay, well, I don't believe you, Mom, but since you say that, I have to believe you since you're my mom. You know what I mean?
See, I was lucky because I came from a sort of well, you know what, the Scots and the Irish and that, and the Welsh, I'd say to a big degree as well, they're kind of brought up with the idea, well, it's a fact, the spirit world's there, it's true, it's real. And even though my mother and dad were ardent Catholics, I mean, the fact is that they still believed in the spirit world, and they still held on to that, So I think that it's the same with the Scots as well, and the Welsh. I think because they're that Celtic, they've got one foot in the spirit world and one in the real world, and that's what they are.
Yeah. Well, that's what I like about that part of the country. It's already rooted in the supernatural. I mean, you go back to Ireland, it's fairies, whatever,
The original Kings of Ireland.
Same as Scotland. They're pretty much very still Celts, aren't they? What's that?
I was fairly lucky as a kid because my mum and dad my mum and my stepdad used to see what went on. So my stepdad, who was a complete skeptic, he certainly ain't anymore. But,
there you go. See, there you go. Exactly. And I think that's the thing. You got to keep your mind open, haven't you? You know what? As I said to people before, I've got my own ideas and theories on what goes on in the paranormal. I'm probably completely wrong, but at the end of the day, these are just my theories and my beliefs. I'm always willing to take on board and change my opinions.
Yeah, we all could be wrong, which is why we should pay attention to each other.
Exactly. What's that?
We'll never know until it's our turn. But I'm telling you something now, when it's our turn, I will be over there waiting for the rest of you going, I told you.
Yeah. No, me too. I keep saying that all the time. I told you.
Oh, do you know, I don't want to be stuck. I want to come back and haunt. That is my go-to thing. I want to come back and haunt.
We
people.
know you want to haunt a sixth form girls' school. We already know all about it.
Young 18-year-old.
Getting quiet now.
Yeah,
it's frozen.
Young schools for 18-year-old nymphomaniacs.
Yeah, there you go.
What Noreen says I've had a couple that have got bits of information that they couldn't have known, but she was non-stop facts. It was unreal. Yeah, you do get the odd one. Terry's
You did that
right.
before
Danny
with the
Temple, the
rules.
paranormals, and what's absolutely Terry.
It's like you had like a look on your face, like,
Oh, was I freeze? Did I?
yeah.
You got froze as well. I thought was going on. Perhaps I'm getting near the truth, and they don't want it to get
Yeah.
out.
Okay. And I see a dog's butt, so
Yeah, that's fair
Just
enough.
point
Well,
that
what,
out.
probably what they're actually thinking. Let the fucking moron rattle on. He's got it completely wrong anyway. But
no, I think that all of us are right. Just that we're getting all the information at once. Everybody's talking like this is what's happening. This is what's happening. Well, yeah, you're probably right. Everything's happening at once.
yeah, I think it's like the onion, isn't it? It's like the proverbial onion. There's so many layers to it that you get through one, there's another one, you get through another, and it just goes on and on and on. The only difference is this onion's eternal.
Yeah, I mean, you go on an investigation and something happens. Guarantee everybody in the room will have a slightly different observation from it.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Do you know what? It's like Tim said the other day, and I completely get it. And I think Tim was right when he's talking about. I know with orbs, we've all got opinions on orbs. I do think that orbs, 99% of it is absolute bollocks. But by the same token, there's a small percentage, a couple of things I've seen that are orbs that I've seen with the naked eye that somebody I pointed out was with me saw exactly during the day. And this thing was emitting its own energy like a Tesla ball. And this thing was intelligent. It moved the trajectory that this guy told us the spirit moved that. So we'd seen that and what have you. But it's like, I don't know. That was my experience. That's other people's experiences. I've
only ever seen orbs, and 99.9% of all orbs are either insects or dust. Or certainly with all the
I agree.
For me.
I agree.
However, there is that 0.1%. I've seen it myself, that 1.1%. Two orbs following us from room to room to room. And you can only see it in digital. Put an EM pump out and we watch these orbs on digital come down to the EM pump and start circling like that. And it's
I agree.
And they were different colours as well. They were black, these things. And it was that made me go, oh. So,
sorry, can I stop you there?
Can
I just stop you there? They're called orbs of colour now.
God.
Well, anyway, these black orbs that were there.
But yeah, no, it's interesting. It's like Tim was saying the other day. Get back to Tim. He was saying that he saw what he perceived to be an orb or what have you, but his daughter had seen it. She was younger. She was a kid at the time, Emma, and when she'd experienced it, what she experienced is what she saw was a fairy. He saw it as an orb. So, and what you were talking about, people having the same experience but different experiences.
Yeah,
Ian was talking about. I believe that. I think that you can. 5 people in a room can see something, but experience it as different things at the same time.
Well, yeah, it's because your perception of that thing is different for each person.
Yeah.
Everyone's tuned in differently.
Exactly. Which makes it's the same, isn't it? So it's the old saying, isn't it? That if I said, look at that colour, that's green, you might look at it and go, yeah, it's green. But by the same token, you might be seeing a different colour to me. Your green might be something entirely different.
Yeah.
You know, woke. David, woke orbs, yeah. Everything else is woke now. Might as well have woke orbs.
Yeah, black orbs matter. Remember that.
Black orbs matter. They do indeed. They do indeed. Maybe they showed themselves as something that is comfortable for. Exactly, Noreen. Yeah, exactly. It could exactly be that. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. But yeah, I mean, it is an interesting subject, isn't it? And and maybe children do see things differently. Maybe they see the reality where we just see if we're lucky to see it, we just see the fraction of it, whereas the child can see the whole picture.
I think it depends how you're brought up as well. Like I said earlier, if you're going to keep saying to a kid, "There's no such thing," you close off the bits that were open as a kid. You know? So you should always be like, "There may be." Just don't poo-poo everything to a kid. You know?
And even if you don't believe in it, what annoys me is when people say, "I don't believe in that." Well, okay, but how can you not believe in it? You've got to keep an open mind at the very least, haven't you?
Yeah.
I had a discussion like that the other day with somebody about what's the difference between a non-believer and somebody that's seen whatever. I mean, like he was talking about Bigfoot. He's like, well, yeah, I know a Bigfoot could be a real flesh and blood thing. Well, then you're not a non-believer, because a non-believer would say, yeah, it doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. Yeah. But, hi, Chantel. I hope you're doing well. Saw your video the other day. Looked very nice on the horse. Very good.
Yeah,
Glad you're riding again. Brilliant. Yeah, it's. Oh, Terry says he's. Now that's interesting, Terry. That is very interesting. The strange thing he saw was a cube. See, again, that's. We were talking about that the other night. It's interesting.
What were
I mean,
you saying, Mark?
We've caught stuff on investigations which we didn't really pay much attention to at the time, but afterwards, on the camera, we caught like a spiral object, and I think that's more in Mark's area. I'm not so sure. I think there's signs of that
Well,
sort of
there's
thing.
triangle ones too, apparently.
Yeah, like a triangle, but in a tube.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Where was this in the sky? Was it somewhere else? Was it?
No, this was actually at sort of head level, outside. Yeah.
Oh, that's very strange.
It's interesting, isn't it?
There's been some weird ones coming up. When we were talking on the show last night, there's one of them, Norway, I think it was, and it looks like a shrimp. Really weird. And there's another one that's constantly pulsing and changing, and they actually managed to zoom in on it. I think it was somewhere in South America. And again, that was a bizarre looking thing. But I do think some of the things we see are not from elsewhere. I think they're probably from underneath our own feet. But
Yeah.
that's being done as well.
I think you're right there. I think. Oh yeah, I've seen spiders. A dog reacted, but a human did not. See, that's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. That's interesting, David. See, that's so interesting. It's lots of people see these things, but it makes you wonder how many people just shrug them off like, oh well, you know.
Well, I probably did that as a kid, because I'm pretty sure that I've had a Bigfoot experience, but I probably just so traumatic that I blocked it out completely from my memory.
You're in the right part of the world for it, aren't you?
Yeah. And I spent all my time in the woods, all of it. From the time I woke up, ate breakfast, went out in the woods all day, came back in the afternoon or before dark. So,
well, I mean, kids can't do it anymore, can they?
No.
Sadly.
We used to get buggered off out of it. Go on, go and play. Don't come back till the lights come on.
Yeah. And call back for dinner.
If that's street
then I'd
lights
I'd
on,
make up. Then I'd make it. I couldn't hear me mum. Just 10 minutes, then I'd go missing. Then I get clumped when I got home.
Yeah, you definitely can't do that these days because that's when bad things happen.
yeah.
Different as well. Then all the neighbours looked out for you as well, didn't they? People were were different back then. They were different back then.
People these days tend to close their eyes and their ears for everything, and it's like, nah, didn't say anything, didn't hear anything.
Don't want to get involved with it. Yeah.
Or they video it.
Oh God, I can never understand. Why would you go somewhere a video? Just get involved.
Yeah.
You know
I know,
what I mean?
right?
Just get involved. What?
But actually, I'm actually glad that people do video everything on their phone because that way the governments can't deny when something actually does happen. You know what I mean?
I'll get it with the paranormal. I'll get people videoing for that. Of course I do, because you want to document stuff. But every day people go out and video every day videoing their life on YouTube, and you think, but you're not really experiencing it. You're looking at it through a lens. You're getting the same experience we are.
Yeah.
You should be able to stuff the camera, stick it in your pocket, put your camera away, your phone. Just enjoy
Well, that's
it.
why I invented the helmet that holds the camera. So when I'm running around doing stuff in the woods, it's filming, but I'm not watching it. So it's just filming.
Did you just
run
say you run
around
around, you put a camera on your helmet and then run through the woods? Did I hear that right?
Dan, don't go there. No.
No.
I just want to say,
I'll show you.
camera on his helmet and he's running through the woods.
I'll make you a deal.
No, he's got a very small helmet cap. He's got a very small helmet cap. Not that big.
I bet Bigfoot ran away from him.
He's in the woods going, oh,
no! He got camera on knob.
I have a proper claiming helmet.
Oh, that helmet. Oh, that's quite cool.
And you can put the camera where it faces here, and I can
I
wear
thought
it.
you meant your knob. Do kids come up to you and go, take me to your leader when you're wearing that?
Yep. Take me to your leader. Hey, I'll tell you what, it'll protect your head when you go in an abandoned building or when you go climbing up something.
I'll tell you what, the way things are over here at the minute, I think that we need to buy them. I'm going to start selling them on eBay.
If you come over here, Eric, with that helmet on, they think you're one of the Teletubbies.
Because I'm bringing it, because I'm going to be doing some climbing. So.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
I'm not
I
even
look
going to
forward
go
to
there.
that.
I mean, if you've got another helmet cam that's about that big, there may be a niche market for you.
I got to get one that goes
motorbike
around
ones are
your
really
head.
thin, aren't they? The ones that the motorcyclists have round ones they stick to the side of the crash helmet, don't they?
I've got one that sticks on the chin of my crash helmet.
Oh,
Have you?
Yeah.
I've got a pair of glasses upstairs with a camera in the middle. You wouldn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
Are they infrared or are they just like a normal?
Yeah. It's infrared.
Yeah. Have you used them on investigations yet?
Yeah.
That's quite cool, isn't
Really
it?
good. High
a mini
definition.
camera with infrared
Really?
night vision. Yeah.
That's good.
I've had them for about 10 years.
That's good. That's good. That might be the way to go, actually. Do they take an SD card or do they just video?
Yeah, SD card and a battery that clips on the side.
Wow, that's
And
that's
you
good.
just clip the light, the infrared light on the side as well.
I have a battery extension that velcros to the helmet.
Does that stick on you?
Yeah, it sticks on the
You
helmet.
stick that on your helmet as well.
Yep, you can stick it on the helmet. I can stick a flashlight onto the helmet.
You must have one big helmet if you can stick all that stuff on it.
Hey, I'll be protected and be able to climb anywhere without having to fiddle
You
with.
definitely will be if you can find big protection for that big helmet. Awesome.
David's even said he'd love to see. That'd be great to see on an investigation. Your helmet would be great to see an investigation.
I will do
When
it.
you come over here, if we take on an investigation, can you whip your helmet out for all the girls to see it? Well,
Yep.
Oh, dear.
Eric, I'm joking, mate. I will tell you, I'm
I know.
joking. Helmet
I know.
over here means your penis, or at least the top of it. Oh,
I'll make you one too, Dan, just because you said that.
Eric knows what I'm like. That's why he ignored me. That's Hazel does that now. Everybody does eventually. Fucking ignore me and they'll go away like a smell. It's like... Oh, I'd love that. I would love that. Oh, so we need
Normality will
to...
be brought back to the show soon, ladies and gentlemen.
I wonder
Yeah,
if there's any.
definitely.
I wonder, actually, thinking about it, I wonder if there's any people that have got autism that investigate, like adults that investigate that have got autism. Be interesting to speak to one of them and see their experiences.
There's
And
quite a
see
few
what
out there.
they-
do it.
Well, how about Daniel? I wonder if he wouldn't
Yeah.
mind going on our investigation. You know, he has
Nick
autism.
Boulay
might,
as
yeah.
well, isn't it?
Yep, Nick.
Nick
Yeah,
Boulay.
yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. It'd be interesting to document, wouldn't it, and see what their experiences were as well, and see what's going on. Too late for that, Rita.
Yeah, it's way too late for
that.
that.
I'll have the police knock on the door later. You were mentioning helmets.
And children in the same conversation.
Oh, God.
Don't
no,
think
no.
about a kid with a helmet out with a camera in the woods.
And you said you kept them in sacks and threw them up chimneys.
POB, pervert on board.
That's disclosure on the bottom. Be kind. Our views are our own. Wait, that's not.
Daniel.
Going back to the children in the paranormal, I got something for you. What do you make of the black-eyed children? No,
that's
not
weird.
just Cannock Chase, but seen all over the world.
Do you know what? Obviously, I've not experienced it, so I can't say. Other people have experiences. Yeah, of course they do. I don't know. I can't say other people's experiences are bollocks because I'm not experienced it. Personally, I don't. I keep an open mind on it. Not that I don't believe it, but I just keep an open mind on it.
Well, I only think this is a change of the faces because they're not totally manifested in this reality.
I know there was somebody the other day I was looking at on YouTube, and it was just a guy, and he was talking, an American fella, and he's a delivery man, and he goes. If you look at his postings, it's just general normal stuff that a normal person does. I did this, that, this, that. And he put one out the other day, and he was clearly shaken. He's sitting in his car, and he said, "I think I've seen something today that I shouldn't have seen." He said, and I don't know how to broach it because you know me, when this isn't a paranormal channel. I don't experience stuff like this generally. He said, but I go to this farm that's out the way a bit. He said, and there's a business there. And when I turn up, he said, I deliver to this warehouse around the side. It's like a garage unit. He said, and I drive around the side and I deliver to this guy. And he said, there's a guy in there. He went, lovely, lovely guy. He said, and he always greets me, asks me how I'm doing. We have a bit of a chat. He said, and then I'll get on my way. He said, and I've been doing that for months. He said, and I've been speaking to him for the last couple of months. He said, and he's really nice. He said, and I turned up the other day, he said, and he was busy doing something by this workbench. He said, and I thought, well, I'm not going to disturb him. I'll just put his parcels on this over here, and I will go out. He went, but obviously I don't think I was as quiet as I thought I was because, hey, it's Ghost.
I know.
she's been covered up. That's what I've been doing down there. I've been stroking ghosts and one of the cats.
Oh, cute.
Hang on.
And he said, I don't. He said, I put the parcel down with the leaf. Ghost.
Hey, Ghost pop up. Hey, Ghost.
Oh, he's cute, isn't he?
Ghost to paranormal pooch.
Ghost. He said anyway. So he put these parcels on this side. Went to walk out, but he said obviously wasn't as quiet as I thought it was. And the guy had turned around and said, "Ha ha! You thought you'd get away without saying hello?" He said, "But when I've looked at this guy, his face was different. He said his eyes were black. He said, and he looked at me and smiled. He said, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to just go." So he said, I just said, "Oh yeah, sorry, I've got to shoot. I'm running late. I'll catch up with you next time." He said, and the guy just turned around, smiled, and went, "Yep, see you next time." He went, anyway, I didn't really want to go back there. I just didn't want to go back there. He said, but eventually I thought, you know what? Maybe you're being silly about this. So anyway, he picked up a newspaper or somebody picked a newspaper up. He was talking about this experience he had. And his friend or whoever handed him this newspaper. And he looked through this newspaper and he went, I've got something here that you might be interested in. So he's handed him the newspaper. He's looked at it. And there's the name of this guy's company is in the obituaries. And when he's looked down, the guy that he's been speaking to for 2 months has been dead for the best part of a year.
Wow.
Right? He's been dead for the best part of a year. And he said, and he was shaking. He was shaking, nearly crying. He said, I just don't know what to do. He said, anyway, I thought, okay, I'll deliver these parcels, but I'm not going around the back. I'm going to deliver them to the front. So I got inquisitive. And I was speaking I went in. He said, drop the parcels off. And then I said, oh, I believe the chap that used to own this passed away, getting on for a year or whatever. And he went, yeah, he's very sad. He went, do you want to see his daughter? So he said, well, I didn't want to walk away and be rude. He went, so I said, yeah, okay, I'll see his daughter. So his daughter came through. He said, I'm very sorry to hear about your daddy. When I just heard about it. He was a nice man. He didn't tell her that he spoke to him while he was dead. He said, he's a lovely, lovely guy. He went, and I just want to hand my condolences over to you. He said, and I'll give her a big hug. He said, and then I went on my way. He said, but I don't know what the fuck I saw. He said, the thing is, I know that some people have got this. See, this is a thing that gets me as well. I've never heard of this before recently. Lots of people, like the girl on the plane, have been experiencing things where they see now they've got this illness where you can see faces of demons, right? I never heard of this illness before. I never heard of this problem before.
No.
They say, oh, yeah, it's a thing with your eyes. And no, never heard of that. It was never, a year ago, that was not in existence. And a lot of people now are saying, I saw the face like that girl on that plane. I don't care what that is back there. That's not everything human, right? Now, obviously, they trolled out a girl after that to turn around and say, oh, no, it was just me. I was experienced. I was drunk and what have you. It wasn't the same girl. It wasn't the same girl that was on that plane. It was an entirely different girl. Another guy that experienced something like that is a boxer from Britain, quite well known. They took him off a plane because he was punching somebody that he said he's not human. He's not human. He's not been seen again. Nobody knows where he's gone. He's just gone, right? So there's lots of things like this. People are experiencing these again. And I'm beginning to think, well, this was never a problem a year ago.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
With my stuff, we've been saying that everything that we watch, things are ramping up and ramping up and ramping up and ramping up.
Oh, very much so.
On all sides of the paranormal, that's coming up and coming up and coming up, coming up. Because on your side, it's been getting busy and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
There's, according to everything, including the not cold readers. What do you call the ones that you give them coordinates and they can see these things and tell you what's there? And
remote viewer.
Remote viewer. Perfect.
Yeah, I belong to a remote viewers thing as well, and I've been watching their stuff. I don't say anything. I just watch, make notes, and everything's ramping up. And they've said something is coming, and I've noticed that within the time frame where they've said something's coming, watch for all these changes. Within that time frame, you've got more and more UFO sightings, you've got more and more paranormal sightings, and you've now got these sightings on the planes and things like that where people are freaking the flip out. And it's like everything is coming up, building to a point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a polar shift, but I do think, and according to other people, we're supposed to be going to a higher vibrational whatever.
I think it's a lot more. I think
coming, and everything's ramping up.
I think
lady
it's
in
more
the
sinister
US
than moving to a different level. I think it's something dodgy. Go on, Eric. Sorry.
the lady in the U.S. that Grizzly knows that I know too, just got back from the government from remote viewing. So she's going to explain some of the stuff that she can explain because she's still under contract with them. So, yeah.
They're still doing
But,
it.
yeah,
They're
she
still using it.
she
Aren't they?
was
Well,
just,
they're starting to disappear as well. That's another thing.
yep, she was just sent last year and she just came back now. So,
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It is intriguing, isn't it? It's something. Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you remember? It's a reference in films, Ghostbusters 2 with the rivers of slime.
yep.
And it started getting out of hand, and the whole city was going mental, and things were happening, and it was getting like that out there, isn't it? It's getting like that. I mean, with the COVID, with what's going on now with the rioting and everything, it's like something's kicking off here. There's a shift of something here.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it, Eric. Go for it. Who's on
Right.
next week? Do we know who's
Oh, it would be. Hold on. Let me go back to my calendar. It'd be Viv, Nettie, William, and Josh.
Nettie, William, and Josh?
Yep. And Viv.
Cool. And Viv. Cool.
Yep.
So
But
they're
Ian,
your
since
hosts
you never
next week.
picked before, you can pick. Tell me when to stop, Ian.
Stop.
Yeah,
I can
more.
work for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 4?
Go for 3. Yeah.
Go for 3? Okay. UFOs in the UK.
Oh, Lauren, they're ready for Mark.
And you're not on it.
Oh, no. Do you know what? Do that. Can we do another one? Do you mind? Because I think Mark will be good on that.
All right. Well, we'll do another one. How about
Seems like
Whoever's
the
got
perfect
it-
show, wouldn't it?
Yeah, whoever's got it next week, I'm sorry, but I think that'll be good for Mark.
Oh, sure. I'll do it this one. How about that? Astral projection.
Oh,
That's just talking. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. Are you all right with that, Ian?
If Dan had that power, damn well he'd use that for nefarious purposes. He really would.
I actually
It
went
comes
to with someone that used
Do you
to
know
do it.
what? The thing is, if I had all these world powers like the governments that I've got, I would just use them. I'd waste them for shit reasons. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be about viewing what's going on in Russia. It'd be about, I wonder what's happening over there in that girls' school when they're 18 years old.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it.
Yeah.
So that's Company M today. Tomorrow, we've on Simply Spooky with myself, Viv, Eric, and we've got a guest tomorrow. I can't remember who it is. Do you remember who it is, Eric?
I don't know who it is.
No, don't worry. But we've got a guest on tomorrow night. We'll be good to speak to. I can't tell you who it is. I'm sorry. I've totally forgot. Steve Meara. It's Steve Meara tomorrow night. Steve Meara is a very, very interesting chap. Very, 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 very very knowledgeable chap. So it'll be good to speak to. And then on Thursday, it's myself, Eric, and Tim, and we are talking about the Green Children of Woolpack.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be good. That'll be interesting. Hopefully,
I still gotta watch that.
That's an interesting case. That
it is
interesting.
very, very, very
I
interesting.
think they came from whatever's under the ground somewhere.
That's exactly what I think, because they said there was. I think there was mention of maybe more than one son where they were, which was quite intriguing.
Right.
So,
Watch
how
out for that,
are you,
Charles.
Charles? Hope you're doing well. You catch up again. Thanks, Rita. So that's tomorrow. That's Thursday night, and then Friday night we've got. Well, we got you got back on, Ian.
Yeah. Freaky Friday, yeah.
Freaky Fridays with Ian, Bright, and Nettie. I love that. I do love that show. It's
It is a good show.
And then Saturday, I think William's back on, and then we're back to the Monday with Mark, and we've also got Mark and Wayne on the Boys in the Dark Mirror, so that'll be good. And then I won't give you because it'll be back to this again. So thanks very much.
Everybody have a good night.
Everybody take it easy. Thanks very much, guys.
And you,
Take it easy,
Barry.
guys.